Hey there, Heather, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Degrassism. Not a Cutter Degrassi unpopular opinion, not a sports catastrophe, but yes, this is a Degrassism. And this is the top 15 Degrassi quotes of all time, in my opinion. Because I know that a few people said there were better quotes and all that, but I didn't think that, and I didn't get the context of it. So, anyway, yeah, this is from my POV, if you will. Just to let you know that this wasn't a complete idea on my part. I gotta thank Lefragen, Lefragen 97 for their stuff about what's the most iconic Degrassi quote, and I basically piggybacked off of it and said, you know what, let me see some good quotes. So I wrote down quotes, and I had the 15 best quotes and all that. I actually dropped a few into it that I thought were amazing and all that. I tried to go through my Degrassi memory bank and what the best quotes were. So I came up with 15, and I did 3 polls of 5 of which ones were the best. The top 2 got to be from 1 to 6 in the main poll, and then the third and fourth place got from 7 to 12, and then the last place ones in the 3 I would rank on my own accord. So anyway, Degrassi was famous for many things and all that. So yeah, the quotes were huge. There was only one big quote from the pre-NG days, as in Degrassi Junior High and High. But anyway, yeah, it was there. So I wrote down the 15 biggest. Now, here's the thing, though. Just to give you a heads up, one of the quotes from one of the mini polls, who actually took 3rd place, actually got into the top 6 because one of the polls, the 2nd place competitor did not do so well, and the 3rd place one in one called the Group of Death that had 4 of the top 12 were there, and I decided to make a switch. So anyway, it doesn't really matter, I think. But anyway, just to let you know, there was one quote that actually was talked about, and someone said something to the effect of, you missed out on the quote, when in doubt, kiss Craig. AKA, I had no clue what that led to. I think it was a Manny quote, but I didn't know what episode came from. So, yeah, it gets an honorable mention. So here we go, from 15 downwards and all that. So number 15. Now I'm going to say it. I'm going to say the number of the quote, and then I'm going to give the scene, or at least the best way, the scene, and then I'm going to say it. I'm going to shout out the quote, the main quote, and then talk about it. Okay. Number 15 is that the new guy? Emma goes, "Hi, Peter. I'm Degrassi. Welcome to Emma." Well, hello, Degrassi, as Peter says. Now, this is from the season 5 premiere, Venus, if memory serves me right. Now, Venus was the episode in which Manny decides to use her father's credit card to get a boob job because she thinks that it will get her more acting gigs and all that. And there's chaos. And Peter, of all people, decides to see Manny and Emma at a party, and then is interested in Manny, despite the fact that Emma is interested in Peter, saying that Peter's the first guy she's liked since Hurricane Sean blew my emotional trailer park, which, of course, is a question of contention, because it's like, did she forget that, Chris was involved or something? And it also leads me to believe that Emma still had the problems after the whole Sean thing. Sean saved her life in season 4 from Rick's gun, and Sean went back to Wasaga, and Emma probably felt terrible, and she didn't pursue boys for the rest of the year. And then she's finally found out about it. So yeah, so Manny tries her best to get Emma to be with Peter, but of course Peter then films her and all that. There is a quote from that episode, another quote from that episode that obviously I don't want to spoil, but that'll be from the 7 to 12. Okay, so number 14 is, you know, Emma says, I'm sorry for causing the problems with you and Armstrong. Liberty goes this. Go back to saving rainforests in Wales because being a friend, you suck. That was from the season 1 episode in which Emma thought that Armstrong had inappropriate things with Liberty and all that. Of course, that would be false. Now, Emma was just telling Manny these things. She wasn't sure what to do, and all of a sudden, Hazel and Terry overhear, tell Paige, and then the rumors start flying. Armstrong gets investigated. However, Emma talks to Radish, saying that it was just a misunderstanding and all that. And Liberty blasts Emma. Well, Emma and Liberty weren't really friends. They were more like frenemies, if you will. But there was a dark undertone to that episode because in the first ever episode of Next Gen, Emma got catfished by this guy named Jordan. And Emma was supposed to meet Jordan at a hotel, but he's an older man trying to take advantage of a 13-year-old. Thankfully, Emma gets saved and all that. Emma basically is upset at herself. And Emma was uncomfortable with things. She was probably thinking that Liberty was being targeted, just like she was by Jordan, that middle-aged man. So, Emma gets some fault in this, but, not as much as she should be. Okay, so number 13 comes from season 8. Claire goes, kids with special needs shouldn't be hurt, Shep says, and you're a little bitch. So basically, well, I put that down. I think I did. But anyway, yeah, and the quotes and all that. I wrote that down because I needed 15. So, and you're a little bitch from season 8. So this is from the episode in which Connor gets kicked out of Degrassi for his problems. And then Snake talks to Claire and says that he has Asperger's syndrome and all that. And Claire's trying to be understanding and all that. Claire realizes that the Shep doesn't like anyone who agree with his ideals. Shep was the principal at Lakehurst, despite what people think, and before it burned down. And then he liked popular people. He didn't like. It was like, well, he doesn't like people from Degrassi. Incorrect. He doesn't like people who don't agree with him. Like Sav is upset that Holly J was named student president without a vote. And, he picked on the guys who are not jocks and cheerleaders and all that because he had a thing for Mia, remember? And Holly J. Check out this sexy number, this little number. But anyway, yeah, he was misogynistic. He finally got what was coming to him at the Principal of the Year award. It was like, how was Shep Principal of the Year? He wasn't even principal for a full year at a school because Lakehurst burned down and he never came to Degrassi with it, unless he went to another school in the meantime. But then, I'm thinking they probably wanted to give it to Hatzalackles, but since she went to Regina, they had to give it to Shep instead of revoting. So anyway, Shep gets taken to task over it. They want him out, but he just gets a sensitivity training course, and he's back at the school, but doesn't make much of an impact. All right. So anyway, I just have to do some number work because there was actually a closeness with a few quotes. So from the 7 to 12 poll, it was actually close to the first 4. There were 2 that were definitely not worthy of being the top 10. Well, at number 12 was from episode 1 of Degrassi Junior High, and Kiss Me Steph. And Steph says, all the way with Stephanie K. That was when she wanted to run for student president. And, getting kisses for votes and all that, just doing things her way. She ends up winning the election, but then realizes that being the student president means that she has to be at certain school meetings and fundraisers. And Steph realizes, that's not what I signed up for. That's what you signed up for. And Steph really hates herself. But then Steph, uses her influence to give people problems. And at the end of Degrassi Junior High Season 1, she's ousted as student president. In season 2, she actually tries to make a move to, not be the Stephanie K she was once. In season 3, she was off the show. So, all right. So number 11 is an Emma quote from season 8. So, do you want to blaze? Now, as I said, I'm yelling the quote out. So, do you want to blaze? So, in season 8, Emma was a little bit too clingy. You could tell that in the season 8 premiere when she manages to pull the strings and get her, Manny, and Liberty in the same dorm room. Manny and Liberty were in the same room. Emma was somewhere else. But Emma felt like she didn't want to be separated from Manny and Liberty, which was kind of weird. But it also brings us down to the fact that I don't remember if I made it on Popular Opinion. I think I kind of did a few months ago. But anyway, Emma, she tried too hard in college. Like, the downfall was there. Like, after the shooting, she was more clingy towards Manny and Liberty as friends and more clingy to having a boyfriend because, a boyfriend may have saved her from a Rick Murray type again. So, Emma was clingy. Manny and Liberty were not so sure about it. And then Kelly was going to date Manny, but then Emma swooped in and stole him. And then, Emma realizing about Kelly's friends and all that, wants to be popular, and they talk about smoking and all that. Emma wants to fit in. She wants to be that person because she's bland, vanilla, and blonde, even though she's not as blonde as she used to be. So Emma tries to fit in and all that with everybody. But, the whole Blaze thing was, with marijuana. And then one girl was so high she passes out due to her insulin problem. She had a seizure, a diabetic seizure, I think. And then the school needed to find out what happened and all that. And so and then Kelly gets caught with the pot and gets kicked off campus. Emma wants to step in and tell everyone, saying that, no, it was her problems. But Kelly says, no, you'll get expelled. And then, Kelly's off campus. Emma's still around. But then, season 9, Holiday Road, is when Emma realizes that she was chasing friends instead of grades because I guess she just wanted to be popular. She just wanted to fit in. And that did not work out so well. All right, so number 10 had 47 votes in the 221 thing. And here we go. I said season 5, premiere of Venus with the Emma. Hi, Peter, I'm Degrassi. Welcome to Emma. But this is another quote from that episode. You could sell this video for $1 million because I'm going to be famous. Now, it sounds like famous as in it's spelled F-A-N-M-U-S-S, but it was famous. F-A-M-O-U-S. I'm going to be famous. And then she flashes Peter, her breasts, because she was drunk. Of course, that led to a lot of problems for Manny. She ends up finding out about Peter and breaks his video camera. Peter says, I want $3,000 to replace this video camera. I was like, $3,000 for that piece of junk? Manny then decides to cancel her plastic surgery to get the money. She wanted it in cash, but it was just back on the credit card. So then she realizes that Peter was serious, and Peter releases the video to everyone in Degrassi. Manny gets slut-shamed. Her dad kicks her out of her house. And she goes off to live with Emma for a while. Emma probably felt great. And I think in Emma's head, she actually felt great that Manny was living with her because then Emma gets to boss Manny around. And, Emma gets to control Manny and all that. Although, of course, we saw that in the first few seasons. But it was just up to a whole nother level, if you want to ask me. Peter got little repercussions. He got detentions and all that. He didn't get kicked out. He didn't apologize. I think he did apologize to Manny somehow for some stuff. But anyway, yeah. And we find out Peter's dad and mom was Hatzalakos. And Emma's like, did you know Peter's mom was Hatzalakos? I had no idea. Who the hell is his father then? Satan. That's a good quote, too. Okay, so at number 9 on the list was, I can't remember. It was season 11 or 10. I can't remember. Oh, yeah, when Jenna was pregnant, I think. All that, and Casey was with Marisol. Casey then goes, you told me to play basketball. And it's like, what the heck are you thinking, Casey? Are you serious? yeah, Casey and Jenna were a relationship. Jenna steals Casey from underneath Claire's clutches, depriving us of a rehash of the whole Emma Sean storyline from season 1. Emma trying to refine the bad boy, that being Sean. So the simple fact is that, Casey, then impregnates Jenna. Jenna gets kicked off. Well, Jenna loses her recording thing and all that. So she has to basically raise the baby by herself as Casey's off chasing Marisol and her family's not really around. But Casey basically was trying to protect his own interest, I guess. I don't know what Casey was thinking and all that. Kind of a scumbag, if you ask me. So Jen and Casey have the baby Ty, and then all of a sudden, an incident with a changing table later, they lose the baby because they're just together for their baby and just make them adopt it. All right, so number 8 is not from a particular episode like number 7, also like number 7, but number 8 is the famous Degrassi line, "Whatever it takes. I know I can make it through." I remember reading a lot of things, and then, the thing, "Whatever it takes," it says, and then whenever I read "Whatever it takes," then the theme song goes, "I know I can make it through." Sorry, instant Degrassi reactions. So yeah, it was one of the most famous lines ever. "Whatever it takes, I know I can make it through. If I can hold on, I know I can make it through. Be the best that I can be. I say to you, whatever it takes, I know I can make it through. I know I can make it through." Yeah, very iconic and an earworm. All right, number 7 also doesn't come from a specific episode. Now, remember when I said that a certain one actually did take top 2 in one of the mini polls, but got pulled back for 7 and 12 because of the group of deaf in one of the polls, that it was almost too hard to ignore, and I put that 3rd place video quoted? Well, this was the one which was taken out, and that was Paige saying "hun." All that. Paige was sassy, smart. She was the mean girl, if you will. She always was in competition with Heather Sinclair for Degrassi prominence. Heather was always unseen, but one Degrassi mini said that Heather is actually a manifestation of Paige's imagination, aka, Paige's alter ego. I find that hard to believe. Regardless of that, Paige, was mean. A lot of people said Paige was a bad girl. I mean, Paige had her bad moments, but, we had to sympathize. I mean, she got raped by Dean when she was very young. It took 2 years for her to get her trial, and then all of a sudden the justice system screwed her over, and she got no justice. So she crashes Spinner's car into Dean's car on purpose, trying to screw over Dean, but then Paige decides to take the rap and tells Dean that, I'm going to confess. That's what good people do when they do bad things. And, Dean doesn't learn his lesson. I think Paige was fine. I didn't like how Paige basically made Ashley an outcast and forced Hazel and Terry to choose between Ashley and being an outcast, and Paige for just being part of the friend group. Paige was a little clean. I think she was just as clean as Emma. All right, so here we go. The creme de la creme, the top 6. And no, there was no tie. I actually was looking at this and all that. And what I found out was that, it was tied. Yesterday it was tied. First place was tied, which meant that I would have to cast the deciding vote. But I don't have to cast the deciding vote. There was 249 votes in the 1 to 6 poll. Last place got 28. First place got 50. That's how close it was. All right, so number 6 with 28 votes came from School's Out, the Degrassi movie in 1992. Snake rambles about Joey saying that, oh yeah, you get to be Caitlin, whereas you got to fuck Tessa Campanelli. Caitlin hears this and says, "You were fucking Tessa Campanelli!" Yep, the School's Out movie. That was after Degrassi High, and then CBC decided 6 months after it ended to have a summer movie. And this take place after the 1 year off that, Degrassi High shut down, and then everyone got shuttled to different schools. and all that. But yeah, there was a summer retreat. Lucy got to have her parents' cottage sponsor it. Everyone was all over the place. There were characters that didn't really fit the mold, but were fine. One nearly drowned. Caitlin, no, Lucy and Bronco were doing stuff. LT was there. Caitlin, and of course, Joey was actually kind of broken off with Caitlin, but he still got to see Caitlin, even though that he was interested in Tessa Campanelli. And I thought Tessa was just a one-off character. Nope, Tessa was partially responsible for the Degrassi Junior High burning down and all that, because she was playing tag with Scooter, the black kid that they were proving to Scooter, who was the black kid that they were trying to make the magic of a inter-race friendship between Scooter and Bartholomew Bond, with the curly blonde locks. And then, the worst part about that episode was definitely the fact that the Degrassi closing theme song was played during the fire, and it was like a tragic moment, and it was this melancholy song. I'm like, what the fuck? Sure. So anyway, Joey keeps it secret. Tessa ends up being pregnant and gets an abortion. I'm mad at Tessa for not telling Joey off. She should have kept the baby. She should have told Joey she was pregnant, because Joey definitely would have taken responsibility for the kid, if I could say so myself. I feel that Tessa screwed up in that knowledge too. Joey would have had to take care of the baby. Punished Joey that way. But regardless of that, Caitlin was upset with Joey doing that. Joey and Caitlin break off and all that, but they would be back together through a series of events in Degrassi Next Gen, and then, that relationship was just bombasted. They made Caitlin dumber than she was and all that. I guess kind of a foreshadowing to Emma, because Emma was made to be like Caitlin. All right, so number 5 was at 33 votes. This was the quote that was not in the top 2 in any of the mini polls, but I put it in the top 6 and replaced Paige's Hunt thing because of the group of death. So this was it. Season 3. I think it's You Got the Look. The episode was. Manny tells Spinner and Paige this. I want to be hot. Not cute. Not adorable. Hot. Because, Paige tells Manny that this guy named Sully actually got a thing for her. And says that, you're cute. Puppies and kittens are cute and adorable. I'm not cute. I want to be hot. Of course, that's when Manny debuted her look. The low-cut jeans with the thong hanging outside, getting JT to crash into things. Of course, that causes friction between Emma and Manny, because Emma's like, why would you sexualize yourself? And, Manny's actress was, 15 when she did those scenes? It's like, what the fuck? And also, Radish had a problem with it. Not because of the fashion, but because it's the underwear outside the pants. And schools have that rule. You're not allowed to wear visible underwear outside your pants. I don't care what type of pants they are, but no visible underwear. And then Manny says, you know what? I'll go commando. She bends down. Everyone is looking at her, but JT offers to go up to the board and save Manny from embarrassment. And that's when Emma wanted JT to be with Manny, because JT cares about Manny and all that. But JT, I think, was a bit sexist in a little bit. And then, Emma and Manny would still have fights close to the middle of season 3 when Manny calls Emma princess and Emma tells Manny she's a school slut. And people hate Emma for that, but I don't hate on Emma for that line and all that. It's kind of unpopular, but yeah, Emma calling Manny the school slut. Well, Emma was hurt. People say things when they get hurt. So anyway, that's number 5. Number 4 with 42 votes in the same season. It's hard to believe that in season 3, season 3 of Next Gen had 3 of the top 6 quotes. But anyway, this Spinner quote from number 4 was in, I don't know, they call it, I guess it's Pride, right? Part 1. When Spinner hooks up Hazel and Marco for a date. And then Marco breaks it off. You're breaking off a date with a hot girl for your mom's pasta sauce? It doesn't make sense. Yes, it does, Spinner, because I'm gay. Spinner's upset. he thought that Marco was happy being with Hazel. And Hazel didn't really get much love in the first few seasons. But yeah, that's what it was. That's what it truly was. That's what it came down to. It came down to that thing about the mom's pasta sauce and all that. So anyway, Spinner is upset, writes homophobic stuff on the walls in the bathroom. Can't believe that CTV got away with that stuff. Marco is a three-letter F word, if you will. I'm surprised. Well, that was in, I think, the promo. Was it the promo and then CTV changed it to homo, or it just basically was the other thing around? But yeah, Spinner gets called out for his homophobia and all that by Jimmy and Marco and all that. Spinner loses his friend group and all that. Spinner realizes how much of a dick he is and helps Marco out being with Dylan, actually, if you can believe that. Now, there is another reason why Spinner could have been homophobic. Spinner, yeah, he was upset and got homophobic for his actions towards Marco. But there's also another underlying tone, potentially. Potentially, Spinner may have been upset because Marco came out to him. Like, okay, Marco comes out, but to come out to Spinner specifically, Spinner probably had it in his head that Marco was coming out to Spinner because Marco wanted to be with Spinner. Not another guy, but Spinner. Yeah, being with another guy is one thing, but being with Spinner is another thing. Spinner's homophobia got hit because when they were studying for a math test, Spinner was choking on something, and Marco was coming to give the Heimlich, and Spinner kept running away, saying, "No, no, no, don't put your hands around me, you gay guy," or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, so that was it. Okay, number 3 was another season 3 episode. One. It's strange how the season. I have 3 season 3 episode quotes in the top 6, but none of them got to be the top 2. Number 3 with 47 votes out of the 249 was this. I can't remember the specific quote before this, but anyway. Liberty says, I'm edgy. I could be with Towers. Liberty, you're as edgy as a butter knife. That's what Sean said in season 3. Now, Sean in season 3 was kind of a dick towards Emma. And yes, that will be part of on Degrassi and Popular Opinion coming up soon. But as is, Liberty wants to date Towers, who's actually in the Candy Bandits with Jay, Alex, Amy, and Sean. Liberty likes Towers. And, JT doesn't pay attention to Liberty's obsession over him. Which is strange because, Liberty is obsessed with JT. And then once JT, she's with JT, she becomes controlling of JT and all that. She pines after him and then becomes kind of a dick, if you said, in a sense. So anyway, yeah, Liberty, you're as edgy as a butter knife. When Sean said that because Liberty wanted to be with Towers, that's it. Because Liberty in the first few seasons was this kind of A-type, this person who really couldn't loosen up and all that, who was just serious and becoming having a Napoleon complex, especially that girls' floor hockey episode in season 2. You know what I mean. But as is, yeah, Liberty's not edgy at all. Liberty and Towers do have a relationship, but they break off over the summer. Why? I have no clue. Okay, so number 2 in the poll with 49 votes, just missing out by 1 and forcing me to put a tie break on. Now, number 2, if it was a tie for first or a tie for any position, because I voted for it to see the poll results, that would be number 1. But anyway, number 2 with 49 votes was this season 4 quote. Well, Emma gets spurned by Nate at the school play and all that. Emma then goes to Jay and says, "You gave me a social disease." And that was it. You gave me a social disease. And then Jay says, "What?" "I have gonorrhea thanks to you." Jay says, "I've chased after you because you were pure." Emma says, "I don't feel pure." And then Jay says, "Everyone knows you're off." And all that. And Emma then, I guess, says, I keep thinking Emma says, "Thank you for telling me this thing." And then Emma realizes how much of a dick she was in secret. So it's secret. It's the episode in which we find out that Emma, behind everything, behind closed doors, is not taking the whole having a gun in her face, thanks to Rick. situation not quite well. She was fine for a few episodes, and we thought, oh, Emma's not affected at all. Whoops, she was. Emma stopped seeing friends. She's like going out to see friends. She stopped having people over. Her grades are slipping. Perino basically telling Emma that, the grace period for the shooting's over. Let's get over it. Are you crazy, Perino? People can't get over shootings and all that fast. I know Perino was set up to be a big dick and all that. Kind of, I think they sent him up to be Radish from Degrassi Junior High. Like a prick, but he's actually soft and caring. Since when is Perino soft and caring? He was only soft and caring later on in his tenure. But it is. It gave me a social disease. So, of course, Emma goes through Jade at the ravine and all that, and then finds out that she feels great about herself. She has control in her life. Although Snake really feels something's fishy with Emma, and so is Manny. They realize that Emma's taking things too far. This is not the Emma we all know and love. And I feel like Emma basically said that the Emma you know and love, you hate me because of my activism and all that. That's what I feel. But anyway, yeah, Emma realized that there was a gonorrhea attack because Amy and Alex both were out of the play because of this whole gonorrhea thing. And they find out about Jay. And then, they make Emma into a pariah. The school makes her into a pariah. Not the first time in season 4. I think the school kind of made Emma a pariah when she protected Rick from a savage beating and basically Paige used her influence to make Emma persona non grata. Fight me on it. But simply put, it actually somehow breaks Emma out of her funk, and basically she realizes that she couldn't hold on to things after Rick had the gun. And she tells Spike and Snake that she probably needs help. And all that. We don't know if she got the help she needed. But anyway, it doesn't matter. And number 1, with 50 votes out of 249, it was close. This is, I figured this would be the number 1 thing. Iconic quote. In season 11, I think it was season 11 when Claire tells this to Eli. You don't know about me? Did you flip a switch and erase me from your memory? Of 3 months with 3 months since we broke up. Yeah. Did 3 months mean nothing to you? I guess that was part of the quote too. But yeah, Claire and Eli had a kind of strange on-again, off-again relationship. Claire, I think, was drawn towards Eli mostly because of the fact that she lost Casey to Jenna. Her parents were in the process of a divorce. And at one time, neither parent really cared about Claire. Although it must be said that Claire, when she joined that weed cult, actually was upset because her mom just married her boyfriend's dad, which means that Claire and Jake couldn't be a couple by proxy because they're step-siblings. It's like, Claire's upset that Eli forgot all about her. I mean, Claire never forgot about Eli, but still, it's kind of creepy and all that for Claire to say that stuff like, did you flip a switch and erase me from your memory? And then, Katie calls her a drama queen. And a lot of people think that Claire's a drama queen. You would be a drama queen too if you had so many things that the writers threw at you, kind of like Emma. But, Claire lost her boyfriend. She had her parents' divorce. She had problems dealing with step-siblings and a double standard. She had problems with relationships. She had cancer. She was groped by a magazine editor. She got pregnant, lost a kid, maybe because of her cancer treatments and all that, causing stuff inside of her. Possibly, possibly not. But I've known women that had cancer have kids, but still could have forced her to miscarry. And, they just did Claire dirty and all that. Claire, I think, always wanted to be with Eli, but, in the end, she was with Drew in season 14, which was very random. Kind of reminded us of the whole Emma Spitter dynamic from season 9. But still, I mean, yeah, that's iconic. Did you flip a switch and erase me from your memory? So yeah, like Claire was being a little overdramatic. You're right. She was. But, she was in a dark place. We all got to give Claire credence, don't we? Don't we? Yes, we do. Anyway, thanks for watching this top 15 Degrassi quotes video. I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.